Students react after two campus favorites leave the Gateway.
And we've got goosebumps for autumn commencement.
All that here on Buckeye News Now. I'm Asia Gore.
And I'm Alexandria Chapin. You're watching Buckeye News Now.
The Columbus City Schools levy, a measure to fund local schools, failed to pass. Issues 50 and 51 failing at the ballot box this week. Columbus Mayor Michael Coleman spoke of these issues on campus earlier this semester to urge students to support their city schools. Mayor Coleman specifically asked the undergraduate student government for support. With the failing of the levy, USG President Taylor Stepp told Buckeye TV that he was distraught.
But to be honest, I'm upset that the broader community did not see the importance of these two issues. USG's commitment to Columbus and Columbus City Schools is not over, though.
The university announces the commencement speaker for fall 2013's graduating class, the speaker that's giving many students goosebumps. Alice Buckeye joins us from the newsroom with more on this story. Alice?
Thanks, Alex. That's right. The Ohio State alumnus and Goosebumps author R.L. Stine will be sending off the fall 2013 graduating class. I caught up with students to see what they think of this year's commencement speaker.
I thought it was really cool. I definitely think it's a different perspective and something that you don't often see somebody speaking at graduation. Normally you see like politicians or something along those lines. So it's good to mix it up every once in a while.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool. Sort of like something like this was, what you grew up with when you were young, and now that you're moving on to like the last years of youth and graduating, he's coming to sort of wrap it all up, and I just think that's kind of cool.
But not all students share the excitement. Mustafa Basri, who is graduating this December, was hoping for a speaker who could relate directly to his interests.
Like I wanted someone who had a science background, math background, something like that, just because I'm graduating a biology degree. But having someone from humanities, and I've been to graduation ceremonies before, I've never had someone from humanities speaking, which is kind of odd. So I think it should be interesting just to know what they have or what he has to say.
R.L. Stine's Goosebumps book series is an international bestseller and was later turned into a popular TV show. His writing days began as a Buckeye when he was editor-in-chief of The Sundial, Ohio State's humor magazine. Some students are hoping his humor will help make commencement a little more lively.
I'm hoping he'll bring some humor and some lightheartedness as well as like some life lessons to go out on.
I think it'll add a different perspective. Hopefully it'll keep graduation ceremony a little bit more lively. I've attended a lot and they tend to get boring, but I can't imagine that'll be the case this year.
An estimated 2,500 students will be attending commencement on December 15th as R.L. Stine welcomes the newest graduating class of Buckeyes. Reporting for Buckeye TV, I'm Alice Buckeye.
Safety is a top concern for many students, and new campus initiatives are working to improve campus safety. Undergraduate student government, in partnership with Columbus officials, held a town meeting to elaborate on these initiatives.
There was a commitment. Ohio State University is the largest university, one of the largest in the country, obviously, and around here it's big business in the city of Columbus. So I can tell you there is a significant amount of resources that are dedicated. Even though we have the same budget issues every year, we have to go and allocate our budget, as Chief Denton expressed. We dedicate a very significant resource to the community around the OSU area, both OSU and the off-campus area. So I can tell you on behalf of Chief, we're dedicated to doing that every year, making that a priority. So we will always work with OSU on that.
Halloween is over, but the South Campus Gateway is beginning to look like a ghost town as two major attractions closed. Gooey's, a specialty grilled cheese restaurant, is closing its doors for good. In Charlie Bear, a popular dance club is relocating to the Olentangy area. Both these gateway businesses were student hotspots on the weekend. These two closings come after Kildare's, another popular bar in the gateway, closed earlier this year.
I feel like everything in the gateway is kind of shutting down, especially because Kildare's closed down. And now, I used to go to Gooey's all the time, so I'm kind of upset about that. But at the same time, I live in the gateway, and Charlie Bear's always got the music pumping, and sometimes you just want to get to bed. So it's going to be nice not to have the extra noise, but at the same time, I like going to bars, so I'm kind of upset that Charlie Bear is closing.
I feel bad for Gooey's, but honestly, I wasn't a fan of Charlie Bear, so no effect to me.
I've lived in Olentangy, and you can't make Olentangy happen, so it's not going to do well there, I don't think.
If you have an idea for something to help improve the university, a new funding opportunity can make it a reality. The undergraduate student government recently announced their Big Idea initiative, where students can submit project plans to compete for a $10,000 grant to put their project into action.
USG is always out here. We're trying to not only use our funds for students, but also to stimulate good ideas and stimulate growth for our student body. So we came up with this idea to say, hey, if you're a student out there who has a great idea, who wants to put something on the table that will be benefiting students, then send us your idea. Send us your idea, we'll vet them, and we'll help you make your project. We'll help you bring your project to fruition.
When we come back, if you're accepting random Facebook requests online, we'll tell you why you'll want to think twice.
And if you think the Ohio Union and Ohio State social media are top-notch, you wouldn't be the only one.
Stay with us. Would you go on a date with someone you met online? Well, a lot of people do, but for some, it's a scam and they get caught hook, line, and sinker. Asia Gore went fishing with someone who had this firsthand experience to bring you the story.
Oh, someone, in my city catfishing, I hope it's not me.
That's what people think now when the star of MTV's show Catfish is in their town. But not too long ago, Neve Schulman was just a normal guy who got catfished by a woman online. Millions of people go online for dating using websites like this one right here. Now clearly this isn't me, but you'd never know that if you'd met me online. That is catfishing.
Finding out that people will take advantage of you and lie to you used to mean having someone steal from you or sucker you into a bogus relationship or contract. Now it's digital, and you don't ever have to see them or touch them. They can just take advantage of you emotionally. So it's a sort of a new landscape for life lessons.
These life lessons can be hard learned, and they happen every day. Catfish, the TV series, tells the true stories of people around the world who've taken the bait of a phony online relationship.
That's insane, and it almost seems staged. So, yeah, it's just like you don't find people like that. Not on like real chat rooms or stuff. I mean, they kind of profile that, they check.
I've heard that it happens, but I don't know if I really buy into it actually happening.
It sounds bizarre, and you may think that it would never happen to you or anyone you know, but it's easier to get caught than you might think.
I'm guilty, as many of us are, of just wanting that validation of posting something and then seeing people like it and engage with it and feeling somehow validated because we've achieved a certain number of acknowledgments. When in fact you don't know those people, they don't care about you. It requires almost nothing of them to like or not like something.
The TV star recently shared his story with students at the Ohio Union and says that he only hopes others can learn from his fishy experience. For Buckeye TV, I'm Asia Gore. The new Ohio Union was ranked number 3 among the universities with the most amazing campus student unions. The Best College Reviews comprised a list of the top 25 student unions in the country. Ohio State beat schools such as the University of Wisconsin, Purdue University, and that school up north, University of Michigan. The student unions at Oklahoma State University and West Virginia University took the top 2 spots.
Being a student can be overwhelming, and for some, it's hard to prepare for life after graduation. OSU has a new program that aims to help students find their way. Alice Buckeye has this story.
For students who are still waiting to choose a major or still figuring out what happens after graduation, a program called On Pace was recently launched this semester to help students on their career path.
Online, self-guided career development tool where students can start at the very beginning of the modules and work sequentially through the end, so they can start with exploration processes and work all the way through to first year on the job.
The different lesson modules range from personality tests for students to find which careers their strengths best fit, or to videos that can help students impress their bosses with dining etiquette.
It's really appropriate for students anywhere in the career development process, if they're starting at the beginning, if they're not sure what they want to do, or students who are very sure and are already being pretty successful. There's lots of tools and resources for them to keep developing.
In terms of like using the modules to help identify or narrow my interests a little bit more. Like I know my major's English and I know kind of a general direction of what I want to do, but the modules help in terms of like narrowing the focus down.
But these little lesson snippets are only useful if students can take the time out of their busy schedules to use them. Some students think it shouldn't take precedent over their normal responsibilities.
Yeah, if you have the time, but like if your studies are getting in the way, then maybe not. But
so you think? Other students think it's worth the time to think about your career.
I definitely would. I think it'd be a great way to like just stay on track with what you want to do and get connected with like career opportunities, and I think it would be worth your time.
We told you last week that Ohio State was ranked in the top schools with social media, but Ohio State isn't the only school jumping to social media in the classrooms. According to a study released in October, 41% of college professors use social media as an extra teaching tool. This is an increase from about 34% in 2012. The study looked into multiple forms of social media, including blogs and podcasts, in addition to more traditional platforms such as Facebook and Twitter. While students may be guided to social media, using it for class is a different story.
It was more a modern approach to school, I guess, education. I didn't mind it. I didn't think there was any downfalls, but I would use it again if I had to.
Some of the times it's helpful. A lot of the times I kind of ignore it, to be honest.
When you're cheering on the Buckeyes, it's hard not to want to jump on the field and join in. Luckily, there's a much safer option if you want to live out your fantasy. Darius Thingpen tells us more. Basketball season is upon us, and that's next in your weekly sports report.
In your weekly weather update, don't go away.
We're joined now by our Assistant Sports Director, Franz Ross, who brings us our weekly sports report. Franz, thanks for being here with us this week.
Thanks, Alex. Asia. The Ohio State Buckeyes have had the pleasure to enjoy one bye week this season, but after the win at Purdue this previous weekend, the schedule shows that OSU will indeed take another week off. In the past 2 weeks, OSU has outscored opponents 119-14, and they appear to be riding some serious momentum in those past 2 games. Would this team rather be playing instead of taking another week off? Players and coaches weigh in.
You got to rest your body throughout the season, and we was fortunate to have 2 byes this year, and just take advantage of that and get healthy.
It's a 4-horse race right now. We have to do everything in our power to not let somebody from behind jump us, but we're absolutely interested in it because it's no longer a case of us just playing our best. We also have to have somebody else not play their best.
The chase is on, man. It's real.
Yeah.
Our goal is to get to November and be competing for something, so absolutely it's on. You come back 5 pounds overweight, you act like a jerk over the weekend, you do something wrong, then you're not part of the chase, and that person won't be back. I mean, that's a bad deal.
Coming off their shutout victory over Purdue, a couple of Buckeyes have been showing up in the award circus lately. Linebacker Ryan Shazier has been awarded the Lot Impact Player of the Week for his performance against the Boilermakers, where he posted 7 tackles and 2 sacks. Quarterback Braxton Miller, on the other hand, has been nominated for the Davey O'Brien Award, which recognizes the best quarterback in the NCAA. Miller has some tough competition, though, going against the likes of Marcus Mariota, Jameis Winston, and Johnny Manziel. Ohio State defensive coordinator Luke Fickell has found himself in recent news this week. On Tuesday, media reports indicated that Fickell interviewed for the vacant head coaching job at Florida Atlantic University. But on Wednesday, sources close to the OSU football team told the Columbus Dispatch that Fickell did not interview for that position. One thing we do know is that the former Buckeye interim head coach is staying put for now.
You know, my wife sent me a text. Did Luke interview? He did not interview. You know, better not.
That's what I was going to ask you. What is the procedure protocol there as far as you're concerned?
The AD calls the head football coach. The assistant comes in and says that they have an interest in me. When would be the right time? Yeah. And my answer is do not disrupt this team. And I get the hope, but there's absolutely no interviewing going on during this time.
The women's basketball team prepared for the 2013 season as the Bucks played in an exhibition this weekend, defeating Bellarmine 101-48 at Value City Arena. The Lady Buckeyes opened the season this Friday at West Virginia and are prepared to endure the tough non-conference slate that awaits them.
You know, we have a very, very difficult non-conference schedule, and you know, we're going to have to battle through some adversity. We're going to learn a lot about our team, and you know, I'm the biggest thing about it. I'm hopeful that really prepares us and really shows us what we need to work on.
As I told you after the game, we need to, you know, practice on being more disciplined. You know what I'm saying? For, you know what I'm saying, the more challenging teams, we definitely have to be more disciplined, or they will get buckets.
The Ohio State Marching Band has gone viral in the past couple weeks, and last Saturday they traveled to West Lafayette to play alongside the Boilermakers Band. While the football teams may be Big Ten rivals, the bands were a lot more civil. Asia Gore has more on this story.
A 56-0 defeat may leave many Purdue fans on a sour note, but the unity between the two bands at the end of the game played to a different tune.
We have great respect for Ohio State. They were wonderful hosts to us last year when we brought our band to Ohio Stadium, and we're very glad that John Waters wanted to bring his band here to Purdue. And we know that anytime that the Ohio State band and the Purdue band appear on the same field, it's going to be a spectacular series of halftime shows.
Purdue, that was a good performance. I actually really enjoyed it. I'm a Star Wars fan. It was pretty good. And they got the big drone thing going for them, but Ohio State's band is pretty good. I would say the band should have a competition outside of football, like just a one-on-one, and that would be interesting to see how it goes.
But the band members say their performances aren't really about beating the other bands.
We're all friends through music. It's fun to encourage each other and to see what the other band is bringing to the table, and it's constantly just a shock and awe from all the programs we see. It's just fun to see the different styles and what they bring to the table and to the field and to their bands.
And the fans are more than happy to receive it, as Boilermakers and Buckeyes alike cheered on both halftime performances. Ohio State's band changed up last weekend's performance to show T-Rex eating Purdue's big rival, the Indiana Hoosier.
Ohio State used an opportunity to get a dig on Indiana and their show too, and I know our fans here at Ross State really appreciated that.
In appreciation for tradition as well, as Carmen, Ohio played throughout Ross State Stadium. And a slight deviation from tradition as the Buckeyes celebrate their 21st straight win this season. For Buckeye TV, I'm Asia Gore.
Now let's take a look at our weekend weather forecast. We're starting off the weekend with partly sunny skies and temperatures in the low 50s. On Saturday, we'll have partly sunny skies with temperatures rising to the high 50s. And we've got sunny skies with temperatures in the mid 50s on Sunday, which will continue to Monday with a slight drop in temperatures to the low 50s.
That's all we have for you this week. Be sure to watch us every week on Channel 19.
And remember to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Have a great week. Thank you.